Hello, children. Welcome to today's radio learning program, produced by Rwanda Education Board with support from UNICEF. I am Teacher Mary. I'm going to be teaching you social studies for P6. Children, I know very well you are at home because of the outbreak of coronavirus, but continue to stay at home and wash your hands with soap and water so as to avoid the spread of this disease. And I encourage our dear parents, please support our children as they will be learning through this radio program. You can check their work and see if they are writing the activities and exercises correctly. Now, children, you may get a notebook and a pen so that you can write down the notes and exercises that I will be giving you. And I hope you are ready now for the lesson. Are you ready? So, children, who remembers what we learned in the last lesson? Can you recall what we learned in the last lesson? So, we learned about public places and assets in our country. That is what we saw the last lesson. We said that public assets are things that belong to all people. And these are some of the examples of public assets in our country. We have water sources, schools, marketplaces, police station, churches, and so many. So these public places help people to access different services like education, health service, security, and so many.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back, children. Today, we are going to learn about a budget. We are going to learn about a budget. And if you have your P6 SST textbook, you could open on page 125. Check on page 125. So this is a question I pose to you. What is the meaning of a budget? What do you understand by a budget? Think about that question. You can share with your parent and tell them what you understand of a budget. So, a budget is when we plan how to use the money we get. A budget is when we plan how to use the money we get. So on a budget, there are two parts that consist a budget. One is the income, another one the expenditure. So now, what is income? Income is the money which an individual gets from different activities. Income is the money which an individual gets from different activities. Activities like business sales, salary, and any money earned. That is what we call income. Remember, we said on a budget we have income and expenditure. So what is expenditure? What do you understand by expenditure? Expenditure is what we spend our money on. Expenditure is what we spend our money on. For example, like buying food, paying school fees, and buying clothes, buying any other thing that you would want. That is what we call expenditure. So, the money earned by the government from different sources is called revenue. So revenue is money earned by the government from different sources. We have what we call a family budget. A family budget is a plan showing family income, expenditure, and savings. A family budget is a plan showing family income, expenditure, and savings. So every family needs to make a budget. And that budget that we make in families should have the side of an income, expenditure, and savings. So children, can you all stand up for this short warm-up? You are going to sing with a teacher. So this is the warm-up that you're going to sing with me. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. So children, are you clapping your hands? So let's do this one. If you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. If you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. Okay, let us sing the whole of it together. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. If you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know, say I am, I am. Well done, children. You can sit down now. And we continue with our lesson. So we were looking at what we call a budget. Now we are going to look at family income and expenditure. I have a question for you. Discuss ways in which families can raise income and how they spend the money. Discuss the ways in which families can raise income and how they spend the money. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Think about the question. Write the answers in your notebooks. So these are some of the ways families can raise income. Our families, they can raise income by growing crops and then sell them and get money. They can also keep animals and sell the animals so as to get money. Families can also raise income through employment and salary. And families can also raise income by buying and selling things through a business. They can also do fishing where they sell fish to get money. So those are the different ways families can raise income. We also said when families raise income, they will also need to spend the money. So what do we talk about family expenditure? Which are the things do families spend money on? So these are the different things that a family can spend money on. We have food. Families can buy clothes. They can also build shelter like houses. They can spend money on medication. They can also spend money on school fees. So when the family earns income, they will also need to spend some money. And they can spend the money on these different things.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back, children. We were talking about family budget, and we said a family budget has an income and an expenditure. So I have a question for you, children. Think about this question and write the answers in your notebooks. What is the importance of a family budget? The question is, what is the importance of a family budget? Parents, please, you can help us check in the children's books and see if they are answering the question correctly. So, children, let me share with you the importance of having a family budget. It is important for a family to prepare a budget because of the following reasons. It helps the family to make savings. It helps the family to make savings. A budget helps the family to use the money they get in a productive way. In other words, the family will not waste the money. They will use it properly because they have made a budget. The budget also encourages the family to work hard in order to make the money it requires. If a family makes a budget, it will have to work hard so that they meet the money that is on the budget. Also, making a budget in a family, it helps them to put a limit on the amount of money they spend. In other words, the family will not waste money because they have planned for the money. So, lastly, a budget enables the family to obtain items needed at an affordable cost. So, when a family makes a budget, they are able to purchase items that can be affordable. Now, children, we are going to look at what we call a national budget. Remember, we looked at a family budget, which is made in a family on how to use the money. But we also have a national budget. What is the national budget? What is a national budget? Can you write the answers in your notebooks? I'm giving you 30 seconds to do that question. Children, remember, we said the money which the government gets is called national revenue. So just like a family budget, the government also prepares a budget, which is called a national budget. So the national budget is always passed by the parliament before it is put into use. So the national budget consists of two items. One, the revenue, and two, expenditure. It has two items which are the revenue and expenditure. So, now the question that I want to pose to you is this. What are the different sources of government revenue? Where do you think the government can get revenue? So these are some of the sources of the government revenue. We have income taxes. We have loans. The government can also get revenue from license fees. We also have fines from courts. The government can get grants from foreign countries. It can also get revenue from rent of government buildings and also taxes on imports and exports of goods. So children, if you are able to write that, well done children, and you can give yourself a tick. So, children, I have this other question for you. How does the government spend its money? Remember before we said government also has revenue, where it gets money from. So now, how does the government spend its money? You can also do that question in 30 seconds. Well done, children, for those that have managed to write down the answer. So, this is what I want to share with you. National expenditure refers to how the government uses its money. So the government spends money on different projects or different activities. So these are the ways how the government spends its money. 1. Government pays salaries for government workers. For example, teachers, doctors, local leaders, and so many. Government can also use its money to buy books for schools, laptops for learners. Government also spends its money by building roads, bridges, airports, and so many other infrastructure. Government can also use this money to buy drugs and equipment for hospitals. It also buys materials which are used by farmers, for example, like fertilizers, agriculture tools, and the government is able to supply them to the farmers. So it also spends this money on water and sanitation, so as to help people live in a healthy environment. So children, I hope you learned something today in this lesson. Let me summarize what we have covered in this lesson. We looked at what we call a budget. And we said a budget, it is a plan that we make on how to use the money. Then we also said a budget has two parts, the income and the expenditure. Because when you get income, you also spend it on different things. So we also looked at the family budget, which also consists the income and the expenditure. And we said also a national budget is how the government spends its money. Children, thank you so much for paying attention. And I encourage parents, please continue helping children to learn better through this program. But for your homework, you are going to find out the different types of budgets that are always made and the importance of a national budget. So I hope you'll join me in the next lesson. Bye-bye.